Get up, everybody's going to move their feet. Get down, everybody's going to leave their seat. Hello, welcome to Music and Stuff. I'm Rob Lewis and this is another Kiss review as promised. And this week I'm reviewing the magnum opus that is Destroyer. Yes, and fantastic album. I'm going to talk about it in a moment, but just look at this artwork. In fact, I'll put it on the screen. The fantastic artwork here. It was painted by Ken Kelly, and it crosses over to the back of the album as well. It's just amazing, and oh, hang on. He wants to have a word, and if you look, he's standing right in front of a poster of Destroyer. Go on. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope you're enjoying it. If you are, maybe you could just help out a small channel by pressing the like button, sharing it to your friends, hit the subscribe button and the alarm notification bell so you can keep up to date with my new videos, and just generally just watching them. It all helps. I'm just a small creator, just trying to find my way in this YouTube metropolis. If you really want to help out as well, there's a link to my Patreon in the description and in my About section. So again, thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. And there you go. Do you see the poster in the background? It's too much to move the camera now, but yeah, he's done. So yeah, Kiss Destroyer was released on March the 15th, 1976. I wasn't even born. Track listing, we've got Detroit Rock City, King of the Nighttime World, God of Thunder, Great Expectations, Flaming Youth, Sweet Pain, Shout It Out Loud, Beth, and Do You Love Me. Produced by Bob Ezrin, of course, for Casablanca Records, and we had, of course, Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, Ace Frehley, and Gene Simmons. And if we look inside, see, I don't have vinyls for all of the albums that I review, but Kiss Army, Shout It Out Loud, that's pretty cool. Join the Kiss Army. As a member of the Kiss Army, you'll receive the official Kiss Army news, published quarterly, your own official Kiss Army ID card, a Kiss discography information about all Kiss albums and singles, biographies on Gene, Peter, Paul and Ace, an official membership charter, a Kiss Army iron-on patch, a full colour poster, 22 by 35, an 8x10 colour group photo, and 2 black and white concert photos, all for only £3 per year. So this is an English release. Enlist now, send £3 international money order to Kiss. Oh, I see. So it was still America, but it was sold in the UK. On the back here, it's got the lyrics to Detroit Rock City, and I don't know why it only had that song on there. Strange noise there. I don't know why it only had that song. I got this from a boot sale or record fair something years ago, so I generally play CDs, but it looks alright. A bit dusty, I don't know why, it's always been like in a cupboard, but why are you smelling it, Lewis? Yeah, I don't know what I'm sure this wasn't an original released at the time. I don't know how to tell. There are people that can tell, obviously. But yeah, so that's the album itself. Like I said, I bought this second hand, so unfortunately that's coming out of all the holes. Unfortunately, there is some slight damage to the sleeve that I'm sure a little bit of paper glue would fix, but there you go. Like I said before, I don't own every Kiss album on vinyl. I haven't got anything to play them on at the moment. I have got them all on CD, obviously. So, here we go. Track 1. Detroit Rock City opens with the guy going to the Kiss concert, listening to Alive, and he's getting his rocks off and he's in a car crash. lyrics aside, nothing wrong with the lyrics. I just don't think they're the best. Lyrics aside, Detroit Rock City is not only one of the most well-known Kiss songs, I think it's one of the greatest Kiss songs. It is absolutely mind-blowing and they very often kick off their shows with it, that riff at the start. So good, really gets the adrenaline going. Sick guitar solo that apparently Ace Frehley didn't write. I believe he played it and Paul played the second guitar, but he didn't write it. It was written by it was recorded at Electric Lady and Record Plant, by the way, in New York City. It was recorded by, I can't find it now, but was it Bob Ezrin himself? I'm not sure, but yeah, I've gone off on a tangent then. But King of the Nighttime World and Detroit Rock City, and it's just such a great song. I don't know what else to say, but it ends with the crash when he gets hit by the truck, and then you hear the smash, and then it fades into the intro to King of the Nighttime World, which was a cover, I believe, and I should have looked this up before, but hey, that's what these things are about. I just do these things kind of on the fly, and I shouldn't do, but I'm sure it was a cover. I know it says here written by Paul Stanley. I always thought that was a cover. That's very strange. Is it like a single person, like Mandela effect? Well, it has got some other names credited to it. Kim Fowley, Mark Anthony and Bob Ezrin. Runaways? I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like a bastardised cover. Anyway, King of the Nighttime World. Not my favourite Kiss song, but it's a banger. And I like the way they often kicked off their shows with the two songs, first and second, recreating Destroyer. And then you got track 3, God of Thunder. For years I thought this was written by Gene Simmons, because it's sung by Gene. Oh, the other two were sung by Paul, obviously. For years I thought this was written by Gene, but it's actually written by Paul Stanley. And there is somewhere on YouTube you can hear the original demo of Paul Stanley singing it. I'm about to have an alarm go off, so I better just switch that off. It's going to do that. I've switched that off. So yeah, God of Thunder, absolutely banger, and it's got Bob Ezrin's kids in the background. Really haunting. Such a sick riff. At this point, Paul Stanley was really writing some really great songs. At this point onwards, at this point, I think him and Ace Frehley were the strongest songwriters in the band for sure. And when they played God of Thunder live, you had Peter Criss doing the drum solo, and Gene would do his Spitting Blood, and floating up and just going on the scaffolding and everything. Then you have Great Expectations, track 4, which it's alright. I think on any other album it wouldn't work, but it works on Destroyer, because I've heard Destroyer classified as the Kiss's version of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, where they were experimenting and doing things. So I think it's right. I quite like Great Expectations, but I can't imagine it on Creatures of the Night, for instance. You know, it wouldn't work. But it's good. It's a fun little song. And with the choir and everything, very different. And written by Gene, and sung by Gene, obviously. Then you get to side 2 on the album, track 5, otherwise it was called, it was Flaming Youth. It's good, with the weird little circus music going on. Written by in fact, written by Ace Frehley, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and Bob Ezrin. So only Peter Criss wasn't involved in that. I don't know to what extent those people did actually make contributions to the song. Flaming youth set the world on fire. I think they were probably hoping it's going to be more of an anthem than it turned out to be, because it's got that sort of anthemic chorus, but it kind of never really went into it. It didn't become one. Then you got Sweet Pain, written and sung by Gene Simmons. Yeah, great song. Fillerish, not quite. But it's alright. You get to love me and my sweet pain. They were really knocking out some great harmonies and melodies and drum beats and riffs. Honestly, musically at this point, Kiss were on fire, and I'm not talking about in the respect of the image there, but they were really shit hot. Then Shout It Out Loud, which did become an anthem, and I know it's not everybody's favourite song. It's not my favourite, but I love it. Shout it loud. What do I say? It's a Kiss anthem about partying, and you got to have a party. About partying and getting high and getting drunk and getting stoned and getting laid, but sung by Gene. Which, yeah, well, actually sung by Gene and Paul. It was one of those sort of tandem songs that they both did a bit. So yeah, Paul sang the verse and Gene sang the sort of the bridge, and they both kind of sang the chorus. But of course you knew that. And then you get to the song that absolutely blew up for Kiss. It was a B-side to Detroit Rock City, and as has been quoted many times, radio stations flipped it over and started playing the B-side, which was Beth. Now, Beth was originally called Beck, apparently, and the band told Peter Criss to change it to Beth, because otherwise it sounded like Jeff Beck. But it was written by Peter Criss, Stan Penridge, and Bob Ezrin. Now, Stan Penridge, I believe, was in Peter Criss's band Chelsea, and from what I understand, he's the main contributor to the songwriting. Peter Criss kind of added bits, as did Bob Ezrin in the production side of it. No drums, very faint acoustic guitar, string section, piano, woodwind, and the drummer sang it, and it absolutely worked. Great song. My partner Becky loves Beth. It's great fun to play as well. Yeah, basically about being late home because you're in the middle of a band rehearsal, and I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to what that's like. Beth, one of the most famous and popular Kiss songs of all time, yet it sounds nothing like Kiss. Isn't that strange? I don't know who played the acoustic guitar on it, whether it was Paul or Ace. In fact, I'll have a quick look. It was one of the two. Who does it have here? Composition, recording. No, I can't see it. I'll look it up on Google. There's all sorts of controversy over it. Yeah. Beth, the only Kiss song to contain no instrumentals from any member of the band. So neither of them played the acoustic guitar then. That's strange. I would have thought that Paul Stanley would have done some of it. Dick Wagner. Oh, Dick Wagner is the guy that wrote the solo for Detroit Rock City. Couldn't think of it earlier. Dick Wagner. But he did the acoustic guitar. So Peter Criss is the only member of Kiss on that song. Yeah, but check it out if you haven't heard. I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you hadn't heard of Kiss before. Then you get to the final song officially, which was "Do You Love Me?" Now, "Do You Love Me?" I used to love "Do You Love Me?" and now not so much. It's weird. I've kind of fallen out of love with it. Ironic, given the title. It's still a great song. Don't get me wrong, but instead of being top tier Kiss songs for me now, it's now slightly lower. I still rock out to it, still sing along. I don't think it was the best song to finish the album with. And if it hadn't been for the following track, which was the Great Expectations reprise, or reprise, however you say it, I probably would have suggested having Great Expectations as the final song. But what do I know? This sold millions. What do I know? I've sold a handful of my albums. But purely as a consumer, I think I would have preferred that. Do You Love Me? And then of course, yeah, the Great Expectations reprise, which was weird. It's just, we're going to have ourselves a rock and roll party with the choir singing over the background. I don't really know what that was all about, you know. I never quite... Oh, it says here Rock and Roll Party, that was called. An instrumental. I thought it was Great Expectations reprise, but it says here Rock and Roll Party. That's all it says about it. Isn't that weird? But yeah, that's Kiss Destroyer. One of their best and most famous albums they ever made. Classic cover, classic songs, classic history, and I love it. As you can see in my Kiss album, original lineup albums ranked video there, you can see where I placed it. But I don't know what else to say about it now. I've also got to go, hence that alarm that I cancelled earlier. I've got to be somewhere. But yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. I've got other Kiss content on this channel if you are into that. And what are we reviewing next? I can't remember. Let's find out. I've actually started putting these into an order now, so it's no longer randomly generated. It is going to be actually prepared and planned. So the next album I'm going to review is Crazy Nights. That's what my body thinks of that. Yeah, so from Destroyer to Crazy Nights. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you later, Bill and Ted. What it is I need is like a 20-second clip that I can put at the end of each video. You know how other YouTubers do it, whether I have at the end of a video like 4 things on the screen, it's, you know, like and subscribe, that kind of stuff. I just need something like that, but I don't know what to put.